my camera isn't broken, I could fix it, and I am so happy because of that. And to celebrate that, today we're gonna be talking about, is it possible to really think in English? That's what we are going to be talking about today. I have to wear this thing. I'm going to the supermarket because I am a father and I'm a grown man, so if you identify with that, you probably do that a lot too. So, let's go. Okay guys, let me give you a tip. Always carry a list, okay? Always carry a list. It's really important. There is an app called Keep, which is really good. I use it, but my cell phone is running out of battery, so I'm not using it. So, carry a list. You see, I'm done. I confess it's a little awkward to be with the camera inside of the supermarket, but no problem. I'm done. I'm going home. No. Okay, so before we start talking about if it's possible or not to think in English, I think it's really good to talk about like why is it important, or if it's really important to have this ability. And I have to tell you that yes, it is. If you want to sound more natural, if you want to have a more natural conversation with someone, it is better if you think in English, because you can talk a little faster, you know, because you don't have to be translating things before you speak. That makes conversation slower. So if it's possible for you to learn that, it's a really good thing, because you are able to have nicer conversations and more natural. So that's why people talk a lot about thinking in English, because if you process faster, you speak faster. If you don't need to translate every single word you're planning to talk, or you're planning to say, or every single word you're listening to, it's a lot easier to keep a conversation going, you know? I hate this thing. Alright guys, so today I have a barbecue. It's a celebration of my group from church that we gather every week to talk about Jesus, talk about the Bible and etc. And today today is the last meeting we have during the year, and we have a barbecue to celebrate. But before that, I just want to give you some tips to improve this whole thinking in English thing. I'm using my, I don't know if you can see that, I'm using my notebook that my daughter just put some stickers on it. So, first thing I want to tell you, it's not easy, okay? It's a process. It's not something that just happens overnight, okay? It takes time, it takes a lot of effort. There's no magic. You have to work really hard for that. So that's the first thing I want to tell you. The second thing I want to tell you is try to meet people, try to connect with people. If you can travel around the world connecting and trying to speak, this is good. If you can't, there are some apps, there are some websites that you can use to connect to people, to talk to people about things you like, things you have in common with other people. And this is a really good way of practicing and improving your ability of thinking in English. If you can't find any native speaker, maybe you can find some friend or a person who speaks English and you can talk to this person. Just have an agreement of talking to each other, even if it's through WhatsApp messages or etc. in English. So it's really important to find people who can speak English or who are learning English, and you can help each other to grow. Okay, another important thing to do is do not translate everything. So if, let's imagine that you have heard a word, like you have a notebook, and you don't know what a notebook is. So you can go to Google Translator or to another translator and just type there, notebook, and then you see the result. This is not good. So if you want to truly understand the word and memorize it, I believe it's better for you to go to Google, not Google Translator, to Google, and you type there like notebook and see the image. This is a really good way to understand what the word means and to keep that word in your mind. You know, not just translating. You actually see what the word is. So this is a better way of learning things and memorizing vocabulary. And it's really interesting to get relevant content for you. For example, I am a huge fan of filmmaking. I'm not an expert, I like that as a hobby, but everything I watch about my camera, I could fix my camera because I watched some videos in English. Everything I want to learn about editing or anything related to filmmaking or photography or anything, or even music or anything I want to know, I try first in English. This is a really good way to practice. So I try to replace all the fun stuff I have, even the content, like for things in English, you know, things I like I replace that from Portuguese to English. This is a good way of improving too. Change your schedule, change your phone language. Start taking simple notes in English. And when you find a school or a teacher to study English, or if you were studying yourself, try to study more relevant content to you, you know. You are a photographer, try to study more things about photography because you're going to learn a vocabulary that you actually use. If you are a photographer and you start learning about engineering and it's not something interesting for you, maybe you're going to find difficult. So what happens to English books is sometimes English books bring some topics that aren't really interesting for us. And because of that, we end up not really learning. So I'm not saying that English books are bad. I really like English books I use with my students, but I believe if you can try to learn things that you actually use, it's better. So it's really good to learn, like it's really easy to talk about family, about hobbies and interests, about things you like. In this way, the more you talk, the more you listen, the more you speak. That's the way you do. So it's a process. When you learn a word and you really learn, you don't have to translate it anymore. So you have to use it over and over again and again and again and again. So it will come to the day that you won't need to translate anything. But focus. It's a process. And the last thing I want to tell you is be consistent. You got to be consistent. It's not overnight, so be consistent. This is the best way of thinking in English. So now I'm heading to the barbecue to celebrate, and that's it, guys. Nice talking to you, nice chat. God bless you. See you in the next video.
Moço, feliz da vida. É, vou te emocionar. Ah, você tá zoando? Você não velho? É. Mas daí? Você vai trazer a caixa do bagulho? Mas você vem do que? De ônibus? Não, vou de carro. Então? Ah, você é zoeira, você é certeza que é zoeira.
Não é.
Você não trouxe?
Não trouxe.
Nossa, mano.
Salve, galera. Se inscreve no canal.
Inglês.
Por que inglês?
Inglês.
Então você ensina.